Hey guys, Marsingin here, bringing another Dragon Ball Z Dokkan battle video, and so today we are going to be looking at STR Kid Buu with his EZA. Definitely very excited to check this guy out. Mine, of course, is Rainbow level 10 links. This is the build that I have: 15 additional, 15 crit, and then he's got 3 dodge. I haven't changed it since we got his EZA details. You can see he's kind of got some outdated like skill orbs on him. I'll probably update him a little bit after this first showcase before we start taking him into some other difficult content. But this guy obviously now has Battle of Fate or Majin Buu Saga, full 170 lead with 3 ki. His super attack is greatly raised attack and defense for 1 turn, does immense damage and has a high chance to stun. And then his passive, ki 3, attack and defense 250%. Then he gets an additional attack and defense 40% with each attack performed up to 160. So he needs to attack 4 times in order to be fully maxed out. He launches an additional attack that has a high chance to become a super. He has a high chance to crit. He reduces damage received by 20%, then he gets an additional attack and defense 40% up to 120, an additional damage reduction of 10% up to 30 per Majin Buu Saga or Majin Power ally on the team. So you only have to have 3 other allies on the team and then he gets the full buff. So we are running him under the 200% Glorio leader skill, so we can see him with the crazy Glorio buffs. But all the other 5 units on the team, including him, are Majin Power, so he is going to have that full buff. And then he gets an additional 100% defense and an additional 20% damage reduction before he receives an attack 6 times. So that adds up to, with the starting 20% he has, the 3 Majin Power allies, and then before getting hit 6 times, he has 70% damage reduction. He recovers 20% HP at the end of the turn in which he receives an attack. He nullifies unarmed super attacks guaranteed for 3 turns. And then after that is a 70% chance. So bearing in mind on this 200% team, so he does have big bad bosses active because we have him with Tech Buhan straight away, which is good. He hasn't had any build up whatsoever, and we don't have any Glorio support because one of them is on turn 2 and the other one's on turn 3, and he's starting off at 510k defense with 70% damage reduction before he gets hit 6 times, right? So one of the calcs that I like to do when we look at defense is if we take, say, 3 million damage super attack, we take off 70%, it's 900k. He would take 400k from a 3 million damage super just straight away frame 1 on turn 1. But as soon as he starts attacking, these numbers are going to go up. So this is going to be kind of crazy. Now, we do have Buu Saga enemies, so he can use his active skill straight away. But I'm not going to use it straight away here because I want to see what his numbers look like without it. And then we'll go ahead and use it like in the next one. So I'm just going to get everyone to attack you. I'll get you to attack you, I guess. Start getting some build up here. But yeah, let's see what Kid Buu can do. So he's going to start off straight away. Yeah, I thought Vidal's super attack was unarmed, so we nullify that for 0. You'd love to see that. That's 10 million as his first attack. And bear in mind, he can still get an extra 120% buff by attacking a couple more times. So we get the additional from his passive, sadly only a normal, and then we don't get any extra, so he's attacked twice. And so then Trunks, type disadvantage, double digit damage. Okay, so he's attacked twice, so he's got an 80% buff from his passive. Now remember, on the next turn we're going to see him with, we'll have a Glorio in slot 3 on this next turn. So when Kid Buu comes back on the next one, his start of turn defense is going to be higher because we've got the 1 Glorio support. But then as soon as we lock in our other Glorio into slot 3, it's going to go up by even more than that as well. So his numbers are going to be absolutely ridiculous. If that's what he's starting out with on turn 1, like, that's absolutely insane. So we'll see what we get once we get to the next turn with him. But yeah, starting off turn 1, 510k defense with 70% damage reduction. Like, that's not necessarily the craziest, because like we said, he'd take 400k from a 3 million super, but that's turn 1. Like, yeah, we'll see what he looks like on turn 2. We'll leave Fat Buu here. He could potentially, he can't stun, can he? I forget what his super attack effect is. No, he doesn't have a stun chance, so we'll just attack you. So we'll do this. Do this. And then, yeah, we'll just get Glorio to attack you. So there's the extra buff. So now, obviously, everyone has the buff for 3 turns. So Kid Buu has got an 80% buff from his passive. Oh, and bear in mind, of course, that Kid Buu does greatly raise attack and defense on super. So that 510k, as soon as he did his super attack, that jumps up to 755, right? So that's pretty good. That makes it so that 3 million damage super would do 150k after one super. Although bear in mind, actually, after the one super, he'd get the 40% buff that we wouldn't have seen as well. And then he did a normal attack, so I put it up to the 80% buff. So yeah, by the time he'd done that one super and one normal, he'd be tanking a 3 million super attack for double-digit damage, which is pretty good. Now, obviously, the downside is putting him in front of a bunch of attacks early on means you're going to get the hit the 6 times like a lot quicker. But once you've been hit the 6 times, obviously in this event we can use it straight away. But once you've been hit 6 times, that's when he can use his active skill, which gives him a permanent 20% attack and defense buff. But that is multiplicative on top of everything else that he's gotten. So even though it's a lot less, like on paper, like 100% extra defense and 20% damage reduction, the 20% multiplicative buff he's going to get from using his active skill is probably going to match up to that. Like, it's going to jump up by such an insane amount. But we'll see. So here we are, second turn. And what have we got? So start of turn defense, basically 1 million. Okay. So bear in mind, he still has the 60%. I believe he didn't get hit 6 times in the first turn, did he? So he's still got 70% damage reduction. Even if he doesn't, he still has 50%. He's still guaranteed going to nullify Vidal's super, which he always does in slot 1. Do I want to use the buff here now? Or wait? Because it can be activated when there's a Buu Saga enemy, which there is, or after we've received 6 or more hits. I think we'll use it after so we can see, because he's definitely going to receive the 6 hits on this turn. So then we'll see what he looks like, obviously without the extra defense buff, and then we'll pop his active skill, and then obviously we'll see that buff then added to it as well. So, and then of course the numbers have just gone up because now we've locked in Glorio in slot 3 as well. So he's now well over 1 million defense here. And that gets nullified. Does count as him taking an attack though. So he's definitely taken the 6 hits. 22 million. And that's the third attack to fill up his passive. So the next one means he's fully maxed out, whether it's a normal or a super. Typical, it's a normal. And we get hidden potential normal. Man. Turn where he gets like 3 supers, the damage that he could do is going to be absolutely ridiculous. And then of course we got upcoming, we'll also have like the Buuhan domain. Man, this is going to be wild. This Buu Saga team, well, Margin Power, I guess it's like a Margin Power team, but with the Glorio lead. So it's technically a Demonic Power team, right? But this Demonic Power team is absolutely ridiculous. And Kid Buu, of course, like the icing on the cake. I mean, if you're using him as a slot 1 unit, you could literally use the physical Super Easy Kid Buu as the other floating unit. Like if we're having Glorio as the 2 Glorios as 2 of our 3 floating like off rotation characters. Yeah, we could just have Super Easy Kid Buu as the other one. But this is my Glorio in slot 3, 55%. It's not getting any crits against Goten, unfortunately. He's still going though, 19.7. I mean, mine's only 55%, so he has like level 7 crit thanks to some skill orbs. He did finish off Goten though, so that's good. So we get the exchange with Evil Buu. Not going to transform you just yet. Just absolutely decimate Trunks here with this rotation. But yeah, STR Kid Buu is looking pretty spicy. So it'll be interesting to see what his start of turn defense is on this next turn. Because yeah, he'll have lost. He's been hit 6 times now. So he's not getting an extra 100% defense. He's not getting an extra 20% damage reduction. He's still going to have 50% damage reduction. So obviously then as like a slot 2 or 3 unit, like his post super numbers are going to be pretty crazy. Hopefully we do actually finish him off this turn. I mean, Evil Buu will do some decent damage, and then obviously Buu gets some more stacks here as well. Only got the 1 super from Evil Buu. It's unfortunate. The only problem is going to be like on deciding who gets to attack, because if I don't know if is Tech Buhan's domain going to be available. If it is, we don't want to use it, because obviously we want to attack as many times with Super Boo as we can. So yeah, he's at 1.2 million start of turn. That's with his full passive built up from attacking 4 times, but now he's lost the extra 100% defense, so it would be even higher than that. If you can get him to attack 4 times before he gets hit 6 times, then this number will be even higher than that, right? Which is insane. 1.2 million, and he has 50% damage reduction. So let's use his active skill here. Might as well get it in the video, actually. Why not? Missed the menu button there. There we go. So let's get his active skill in here. So now this gives him a permanent 20% attack and defense buff. Alright, well, so now he's at 1.46 with 50% damage reduction. So we'll do that. Do that. Oh, and of course it will go up slightly as well, because now Glorio gets his orbs. 38.8. Okay. 38.8 while having all of that defensive power, and then it goes up to 41 million on the additional. And bearing in mind again, he's greatly raising defense on each of his supers, so he's probably over 2 million defense now at this point with the triple super turn. 43 million. So just a casual like almost 130 million attack stat worth of attacks off of those 3 supers. No crits though, sadly, so he didn't actually finish him off. And then on the next turn, we should have Tech Buhan's domain available to be used, which is going to give Kid Buu an even bigger buff. Good times. You'll love to see it. You know what would be ideal here, actually, if Fat Buu just died? Just immediately get one shot in slot 1 so I can go on to the next rotation with Gohan basically being on full health. That'd be really helpful. Okay, he's not going to do that. Well, fair enough. It is what it is. Int Buu won't do a lot of damage here anyway. I'm not sure what the build on mine is. He does have some crit. I remember when he first dropped and I only had him at 55%. And because he's a stacker, like I gave him an additional silver skill orb. So he had literally 0 crit. And the number of events that we were doing at the time that had physical bosses. And mans would just be out here getting no crits and doing basically no damage. But that's fine. We want him to have a decent bit of HP because we do want to be able to get to attack with Super Buu. Because we're going to transform the Tech Buhan. I can't wait to see what he looks like with this. So he's got his full passive built up. He's got his active skill active now. And then he's going to have the domain buff as well. With the double Glorio support. And one absolutely insane setup. Glorio, just keep firing off the lightning bolts. He's still going. It's still ridiculous to me how good this unit is, even at 55%. These last few units and EZAs that have come out have just been absolutely ridiculous. So, alright. So now we can use the domain. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's double check our numbers here first. So start of turn, 1.6 million. Then we go ahead and use the domain buff here. So domain activated, inside Buu. Of course, remember the domain, if we bring it up here, is power absorption or transformation boost. Enemies and allies attack and defense 15%. So now we're at 1.9 million start of turn with 50% damage reduction. Do you think that's pretty good? That's the thing. I don't want to like screw Super Buu out of being able to attack, but I really just want to see, like, Kid Buu could literally just one turn Gohan here, which would be bad for Super Buu, I realise, but this is the Kid Buu showcase, not the optimal usage of this team showcase, right? So 46.3 million is his first attack stat on this turn. Like, bro, come on. And then after supering with the super attack effect, he's now over like 2.2, 2.3 million defense. Then he gets the additional, goes up to almost 50 mil. So now we're over 2.5 million defense with 50% damage reduction. Like, he's getting to the point with all of these buffs active, like he could tank Goku and Frieza's super attack when they're under half HP. In theory, like in terms of the actual number, obviously they always super in slot 1, so he actually wouldn't have got any of the extra buffs, so he wouldn't tank it. Because I think theirs does, it's like 5.6. So because it's like 2. Yeah, because they get their attack doubled and it's like 2.8, right? So with 50% damage reduction, it's still 2.8, and he had 1.9 defense, so he'd still take like 900k. So unfortunately on this team, even with full health, like that wouldn't be enough. But still, like, what? He's ridiculous. One absolute monster. So we'll do that. We'll grab these. Should get another turn in here. We've got the Dokkan attack with Int Fat Boo. Int Fat Boo going to eat the super here straight away, but he should be fine. He's got type disadvantage. Yeah, 145. They've got type disadvantage over him, I should say. Time to get serious. And the fact that this team has so much healing, like Kid Buu healing 20% at the end of each turn. Like, bear in mind, on this team build, we have what, 716k. So that's what. To be fair, I don't even have to guess. I'll just put it in here. 716k, and then what, divided by 5. So he's healing us 143k HP at the end of the turn if he gets hit once. And he hasn't taken more than double-digit damage in the entire video. So STR Kid Buu is an absolute monster. Which, I mean, is appropriate, right? Because Kid Buu, absolute monster at the end of the series. But, damn, like, STR Kid Buu, just crazy. And the thing is, like, depending on where you put him on the rotations, it wouldn't be too difficult to get to Goku and Frieza with him not having been hit 6 times. Depends on, like, the locking and stuff. The only problem is that he, again, like, slot 1, when they're under half HP, if his passive was fully built up and he hadn't been hit 6 times, then he probably could tank their super in slot 1. Once they're under 50% HP and they're doing the double damage, then I don't think he can. But I mean, realistically, there's not many units in the game that can tank that super, just like eating it to the face, right? You've either got to have really high damage reduction or dodge. But of course, on this team, you have the added advantage of running double Glorio, so you could action break and potentially get rid of the super at the start of the turn anyway. And then you've got Int Fat Boo, so you can Ghost Usher. Like, the team is just absolutely ridiculous. Yeah, so 1.7. Before picking up the... I mean, Super Boo's not going to get a chance to attack a single time, is he? But it is what it is. I mean, I guess maybe we should actually let him attack here so that we can get through to the final phase. But yeah, one absolute demolition this has been. STR Kid Buu seems insanely good. You only have to have the Majin Buu Saga enemy for him to get the active skill on turn 1, which, as I already said, like when we were talking about his details the other day, if we are going to get like a new Super Vegito as part of the anniversary, then it feels very likely that we'll get some sort of blue zone or something like that where you end up fighting Super Vegito, so then Kid Buu can use his active skill straight away. I'm not sure how the math works for, like, because obviously his active skill gives him a permanent 20% buff. So I'm assuming it still works out the same way. Like, if you use it on turn 1, and then when his passive is fully built up, whereas if you get his passive fully built up and then you use it, you still end up with the same number, right? Or is it literally giving him 20% of the defense he has? I'm assuming it does work as a separate buff, because otherwise it would be pointless to use it early on. It just counts as a separate addition, like another thing along the line that's being added is plus 20%. It's not that it gives plus 20% of whatever you have, like, when you use it. But, I mean, because otherwise, there's, in events where you can, like, there's basically no reason not to use it straight away, if that is the case. So, do this. In fact, let me just do this. Because I think Kid Buu, with the 50% damage reduction and how high his start of turn defense is going to be, this Gohan usually supers in slot 1. And his super attack only does like 2 million damage. So I'm pretty sure that means that Kid Buu just eats it for double-digit damage. If he does actually take a super in slot 1 here from the Family Kamehameha Gohan. And then with the amount of damage, the fact that he's dropping multiple, like, well, he can, because obviously we have had the turns where he just does like 2 additional normals, but dropping over 40 million attack, on top of how strong he is defensively and the 20% heal at the end of the turn. Like, he does so much. And of course, remember that this event isn't the best for it, because it's the final 2 phases with the Family Kamehameha. Obviously, he has the Family Kamehameha is a Ki Blast super attack. But he still has the 70% chance to nullify unarmed supers as well. So if we get fights that are unarmed super bosses, like during the anniversary, then he's going to be really, really good for that as well. I'm just going to have a quick look on Dokkan info for Goku and Frieza, because I don't think theirs counts, but I think Frieza and 17's super is an unarmed super as well. So yeah, Goku and Frieza. Oh no, it is Frieza and Goku is an unarmed super, and then 17 and Frieza, he just has type advantage over them. So, so that's a good point. So in slot 1 against Goku and Frieza, like, he has a 70% chance that he just takes 0 damage from their super anyway, which is kind of ridiculous. So let's do this, and then hopefully Kid Buu should finish him off here. Otherwise, Buuhan should. This is just going to be a very powerful turn. But here we go. Kid Buu eating the Family Kamehameha to the face in slot 1. He's got over 1.5 million defense, because obviously we've got the Glorio buff from him being in slot 3. He's got 50% damage reduction. So there he is, taking double-digit damage. And then dropping 38.8. That's his super attack here. Big crit. The additional is the super as well. Let's go. 41.3. Can we get the hidden potential as well? But yeah, what a beast. What a great EZA. So, big crit. Oh, hidden potential was only a normal. And then Buuhan. Unfortunately, Super Buu didn't get many supers off, but post Buuhan with the Glorio support should still be pretty good. Yeah, still 14.5. I mean, mine's only 55%, so pretty good for the 55% Buuhan. Only getting an additional normal. There's another super. Well, him or Glorio should finish him off. So let's wrap it up there. Let me know what you guys think down below in the comment section. STR, Kid Buu, absolute monstrous EZA. Very, very good. This demonic power team. Obviously, if you don't have Glorio, just running the Buu team, whether you're using Int Buu, whether you're using LR Buu tanks, whoever you're using as the leader, like this Buu team, STR Kid Buu, absolutely ridiculous on this team. Tons of damage, really strong defensively, healing. He's a big bad bosses character. And the thing is, he needs Majin Power or Majin Buu Saga allies. You need 3 of them on the team. It doesn't say self-excluded, so you only need 2 other ones. So on other teams with extreme characters, teams like Transformation Boost and stuff like that, that he could potentially go on, he's going to be very interesting as well. So absolute ridiculous EZA, 10 out of 10. They absolutely snapped. Apparently Goku is like as good, if not better, but we're going to do his video next anyway. So yeah, Glorio unfortunately not getting crits and not finishing off Gohan, but I guess we will wrap it up there for Kid Buu. Let me know what you guys think down below in the comment section when it comes to STR Kid Buu and his EZA. If you tried out both of them, do you like Goku better? But yeah, STR Kid Buu, ridiculous EZA. Let me know what you guys think down below in the comment section. So that is going to be it for the video, guys. This has been the Master Ningen. Smash that like button, subscribe to the channel if you are new. Check out the links down below, and I will see you all again soon. Have a good one.